Good day, everyone, and welcome again to One Global Movement Building Hopes and Dreams, where we come together as one to help build the hopes and dreams of young people, young minds, children, women, and families in the world. And this is such a beautiful thing that we always come here together to do this. A lot of people don't have this kind of opportunity that we have here. And we want to continue to be grateful to Almighty God for sending our CEO to us. Because
Yes.
if we don't see the beauty that Mr. Ashmufara has brought to the world in what he has brought us together to do, then I don't know what else we can see first. Because to me, this is the most powerful thing because you cannot build an empire. You cannot build a legacy. You cannot even do anything without people, like-minded people that want to come together to take what Mr. Ashmufara, the teachings of Mr. Ashmufara, to apply it in our daily lives and into our different endeavors that we are doing, all for the glory of God. So I really am grateful, and I'm grateful to all of you and our beautiful sister. You can see our beautiful sister from Hyderabad, India, Nimala. Nimala joined us here today. That's the kind
Mhm.
of courage that we are talking about. Don't just be
Mhm.
in the audience. If you have something to say, hop on here and say it. Hop on here so that our children can know that they belong, that
Yes.
they have a voice, that they can express themselves. They can talk about their education, their businesses, whatever projects, whatever they are doing, they can talk about here. Because when we talk about things here, we are attracting more resources. We are finding ways to come together to make sure that we uplift one another. And that is why we are called One Global Movement. And all thanks go to each and everyone here. Let us continue to spread the gospel of Mr. Ashmufara and therefore one global movement to all corners of the globe, because any initiative that stands on the promise of God to uplift humanity from the heart should thrive, and we all need to support it. And let us also be praying and putting our hands together for Mr. Ashmufara and his family, and to all of us here, and to all other people in the world that don't yet know this gospel of unpassive should also know, and the gospel of one global movement. So thank you
Mhm.
so much, sister from India, for joining us here. And the topic of today is the Mantle of Hope Revolution, Part 297. One voice, one child, one heart, one global movement. Advocacy for women and children. And we keep saying these things in different ways because this is something that we need to live it, we need to act it out, and we need to leave it with a legacy. And we have to do it every day from different perspective, different angles. Just like you cannot say, I am going to be grateful to the creator or to Mr. Ashmufara or to any of us here and say, I'm just going to do it once and that is it. Life is a continuous thing. We need to
Mhm.
continue to adjust it, to leave it, but we already have our ethical principles lined out that nobody can deviate from those principles. All we do with it is then left for us, and we want to do the best for the betterment of our children, our young minds, women, and families worldwide. So we thank Mr. Ashfara for that. And remember, we have three words that we stand by this year, and from time to time we're going to be reminding ourselves so that we can write those words and paste them somewhere. One global movement stands on a purpose. We all have our purpose. We do, unless we don't want to look for that purpose and work, start working on it or keep working on it. Mr. Ashby
Mhm.
for us said, take what I am doing here into your different purposes and endeavors, and that is what we are doing here in One Global Movement. And One Global Movement brings into it different purposes, which is all to serve humanity. So we have purpose, action, and intentionality. We have
Mhm.
to have a purpose. You can't just be walking around without knowing which direction you're going. You were born with that purpose. Let us keep working on it. And if we don't really yet have the clarity on that purpose, let ask so that we can bring the clarity. We put our heads together and we know what to do. And let us also help our children because they need to be working on their purpose right now and moving forward. And we watch them from birth from birth, even from the stomach. What are you telling your unborn baby? And when the baby comes out, what are you telling that baby is what matters? What are you telling that baby is what is going to help that baby bring out her purpose or his purpose and continue to nurture that and water it until the end of time. So it's so important that we do that. So the theme again is one voice, one child, one heart, one global movement. Very important. And it's going to be a discussion. So, and empowering women, as we all know, educating young minds and uplifting children today is building the foundation for a more just, loving, compassionate, and empathetic tomorrow. And we got to do it now. We're not postponing because you see me, I have a cold. I have some challenges too. But not to do it, I get sicker. We need to do it right now because as we speak, there are children dying of hunger. There are children dying of poverty. There are children who don't know how to even say their ABCs. And we have so much. God created us with so much in the world that nobody should even sit and watch a child go hungry or go to bed hungry. How can that child sleep when that child is hungry? Can you sleep yourself when you're hungry? We ask ourselves this. What can we do to reach out, whether in our families or in our neighborhood, in our community, or out to a neighbor, or across the Atlantic Ocean? If we have served our community first, what can we do to help these young minds, these children and women to excel? So the power of raising awareness for those in need is so powerful. Raising awareness is a catalyst. It is something that breaks down things into manageable little parts that we all can do. It's a catalyst for change. When you come, Sister Yvonne comes, Sister Naimala comes, and all of us come here, right here in the chat. This is what we are talking about. We then becomes catalyst for change, the kind of change that comes from the heart. Remember them, Sir Ashmufara said it. We want to uplift humanity, but you cannot uplift humanity without a good heart. Without a good heart, sometimes the heart can be bad. That's why we say without a good heart. We must have that good heart. And for somebody to turn around, you see a child begging on the street, or you see a child digging into, excuse me, digging into the garbage can and removing food and eating, and you don't do something about it, then you are also contributing to what that child is going through. So we must take it to heart. So it transforms silence into voices. Raising awareness transforms silence into voices and shadows into light and apathy into action. We're not just saying, "Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, it's not my problem," but you taking the action to make sure that what that child is going through also becomes your own issue too. And we do it here together. So when we amplify the struggles of those in need, we are not only honoring their stories, but also awakening the collective power of humanity to make a difference. Like what Mr. Ashmufara has done, you guys don't know it. I know that. He's already done it. He's already done it because otherwise, me, Mundih, will not be here at all with this great mindset, with you guys in the chat contributing. He has done it because that is the first human resource ordained by God is human beings. You and you and I talking, you and I doing things to help others. So awareness fuels compassion, and compassion will spark solutions every single day. So together we can create a ripple effect of hope, touching lives and empowering communities worldwide, and doing this in different ways, not just feeding a child. When you're feeding a child, you want to do it holistically. Is this child healthy? Because if this child is not healthy, then when you feed that child, giving that child physical food is not going to mean anything. We have to be sure morally that this child is healthy. We want to make sure, is this child safe? Is this child safe where they are living, or they are unsafe, or they are going through some kind of abuse, gender discrimination, or maybe they are running away from wars, or is the family even safe to take care of their children? Is what we are talking about here, and we have plenty. You want to share, even if you have one meal a day, because sometimes I eat once a day because I have programmed myself to be that way. I can not to say you guys should copy, but do what fits your system. But breakfast is very important. You eat the first meal, and so the children. So when you're eating, what are you thinking? What about your neighbor? What about those in your community? What about those that have been relegated to the backwaters of life and pushed to live in the forest or into the vicinity of your area? Maybe through war, through discrimination, through whatever. What are you thinking? What are you thinking? Are you advocating for these children? Is what we are talking about here. So I'm going to let you guys go with what are the key areas of advocacy or whatever you want to discuss here concerning this topic. Let us carry out the conversation. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Sister Mundih. Let's see
Thank
if
you, sister.
Mrs. Nirmala over there has something to say. She's our guest, so
Yes, we'll
does
give
she
you
want
the
to
floor.
contribute?
You are
Does
our
she?
guest.
Thank you,
Does,
sister. Thank you, sister. Both
well, we're
sisters
both
accepted
Yvonne's.
this. Thank you very much. This platform, I speaking to opportunity, getting with. Thank God, I should say. Our Ash Mupari sir, live God, I should say thank you, sir. I got
Mhm.
it. So many sisters, brothers. Thank you, sisters. इन अनपैसिव आने के बाद हम लोग बहुत नॉलेज लेना फैमिली कैसा चलना फिर हमारा फैमिली लोग 5-6 लोग रहते हैं ना घर में कैसा देखना how it is our family streamline family financial freedom आता है सबको अच्छा रहता है जी हमारा लाइव कार्ड कभी भी आना कभी भी
Are you
देना
speaking a combination of Hindi and
Yeah,
English?
that's beautiful. That is so beautiful. So that others can hear you.
That is, yes, it is.
हिंदी एंड
Thank
इंग्लिश
you.
दोनों में कंप्लीट नहीं आता जी
That is
Okay.
awesome.
Welcome, Melanie. Thank you so much. We have
Nirmala, Sister Nirmala, thank
our
you.
beautiful sister here, Sister Namala, who has taken the leap of faith to say, I am going to be on this stage here today. And we encourage
Absolutely.
everyone, please. We
Yes,
encourage different voices, different actions, different ways of doing things because so that these children are not forced into one pattern. So we want them to be given choices. We want them to be able to choose what resonates with their goals and their dreams, not to be
yes,
forced. So we encourage people, whether you speak English or you don't speak English, the world with this high technology has developed, we can have interpreters. Don't be shy. Look at her.
absolutely.
Sister Nemala said, I'm
थैंक
coming
यू
here today, and she's speaking English and speaking in Hindi at the same time. This is the beauty of what we are doing here, and I highly appreciate
Absolutely.
it. Thank
Yes,
you. Yeah.
yes.
what I am thinking now sister if I am speaking like that but I can able to convey this message to my sisters or not I am thinking like that way
Yes.
We thank you.
thank you
So,
sister thank you
thank,
accepting my voice thank you sister
oh,
Okay.
thank you. And I mean, somebody will understand what you were saying if we don't understand it. So it benefits, no matter what you do, it benefits somebody. And that's what we're looking for in global movement, one
Yes.
global. We want the whole world to be included, right?
Yes.
So as
Yes.
you were talking, sister, it always brings back to mind that the statement from Reverend Martin Luther King, where he says, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And I mean, that holds true now. And of
Mhm.
course, I'm going to focus my little speech on my daughter, Malala,
okay thank you
where
my
it
sister
says one child, one teacher, one book, one pen can change the
Mhm.
world. And isn't that what we're saying? That's true.
Yes. Yeah.
And she says also, I raise up my voice not so that I can shout, but so that
okay
those without a voice can be heard. And she says, when
excuse
the
my
whole world
sister
is silent, even one voice becomes powerful. And then she goes
okay
on to say, there are two powers in the world. One is the sword, the sword, and the
Mhm.
other is the pen. And we know that the sword is not working because, I mean, otherwise we would not have all these wars and rumors of war. Then I was looking at the news, what's going on with her recently, and it says Nobel Peace Prize laureate Malala Yousafzai decried the state of women's rights in Afghanistan. So this is ongoing. It's, we can't give
Mhm.
up the struggle or the fight or whatever you want to call it because she says, in effect, it's gender apartheid. That
Mhm.
was on Sunday, so that's only a few days ago, and urged Muslim leaders to speak out against the Taliban's government repressive policies on women's and girls' education. So even though she almost gave her life It's not over. The struggle is not over. Simply put, she says, the Taliban in Afghanistan do not see women as human beings. Right? I mean, I'm not speaking anything that is not been said. It's there for everybody to read it. This is what she's saying, and she certainly should know because she's right in the middle of it. So that's her fight, advocacy for education and women's rights. So everybody picks their fight. There got to be a better word. Everybody picks their cause.
Yes.
For me, it's water. For you, it's a broad. It's Sister Mundih. I mean, for you, it's a broader thing. You're encompassing everything. But the thing is, there are so many of us in the world. So if we all just pick one thing or two things, we can go after it. Because this young lady was willing to give her life. She didn't go out starting like that, but it almost cost her life. And so this is a serious issue, and it's not over, but it can be done in a more, I don't know, inclusive way. More people need to be involved. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Right. And so thank you for the platform that is really focused on that, Sister Mundih. And so let us go and do our things. Right?
Thank you, sister.
And everybody's welcome.
Yes.
Everybody's welcome.
Can I share one word, ma'am?
Yes, of course. Go ahead.
Thank you, sister, giving my opportunity. When I was born, giving my girl child, I was cried like anything. I'm also a girl, lady. Underwent before marriage, after marriage. I underwent so many problems and struggles, family problems and other society problems. I underwent. I'm very sensitive, sister, but I underwent so many problems. I was cried like anything when I was my child born time. Why my God given girl child? But now I am thinking this girl child happened. Our sisters all are our worldwide sisters. I got it. Thank God. I am saying to because of our brother Ash Mufarah sir only I got it. Thank you. I want to say that thing. I want to you our sisters help ma'am for my daughter's studies. Because your help only my daughter grown up. I am thinking like that way, ma'am. I want to our sisters help, ma'am. Our unpassive sisters help only. I can get it my child higher studies and how to push up to her studies. And I don't know anything. That's why I want to begging like anything to you, ma'am.
Here, thank you so much. What we're doing here now, which will blossom big. We are building this foundation now because before you get to start reaching out to these children, you want to build the foundation so strong, so much so that when you start reaching out, the foundation will not crumble. Yes, we know what a lot of kids are going through in the world. We are building this and we are waiting for Mr. Ash Mufarah. So when Mr. Ash Mufarah does come, we will be able to reach every child. And we are reaching those children through us, through you, through Melanie, through Sister Yvonne, through me, through all of us here, through the managing director, so that that's the kind of resources that we are building this foundation for right now, so that we will come when it comes to time, we can be able to help. For right now, our we are still building. When time comes, we will reach out to every child, okay? And you are the representative of your children or your daughter, and then also represent your community, so that the whole of your community should know when that time comes. Let us continue to put our hands together and let Mr. Ash Mufarah do what he's doing. And when time comes, we'll have those resources. Thank you so much for expressing yourself.
Yes, thank you.
Melanie, come on.
Hello, Sister Yvonne and Yvonne F. Yvonne
Sister
M.
Yvonne.
And what's the name? Namala?
Yes.
Okay. Hi. One second, please.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
how are you, ma'am?
I just want to let Sister Namala know that we are all have a focus on waiting for the apples, as we keep calling them, to fall. So it's the same thing with it's the same thing with One Global Movement. We're just
Yes.
all of us
Thank you.
are waiting on that, and we have good faith in him still, and we just support him with prayers and speaking about him in good in good tones. But nobody has been getting any of the apples yet. That's what I want to make sure that we know. We have to be looking for our own apples in different spaces, and we're all
Yeah.
doing that. Yeah.
Yes, what and then encouraging people so that they can really know that we don't just wait. While waiting, like you say,
Exactly.
do
Exactly.
something. Because
Hmm.
if we wait without doing something, our minds will be distorted and we'll get into things that are not healthy. Even if it means selling a bottle of water, even if it means doing something that will give you daily bread while you're
Yep.
waiting. Because if we wait without doing something, when the apples do come, we will not even know what to do. So we
We
continue.
won't.
What if Mr. Ashby Farah was not here? We'll ask ourselves, what will we do if he was
Yes.
not here? So
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
continue to build on our hopes and our dreams, like Sister Yvonne said, because really all what we're doing here is one thing: humanity. And if you're doing water, Sister Melanie is doing the smiles in the bag, and the Sister Naime might be doing something which we all should. It boils down to one thing. I might say globally, think about it. Can you feed a child without water? Can you feed a child without giving those things that they can take care of themselves, like smiles in the back? You cannot. So education, feeding, and helping them to build generational wealth becomes one thing only, because those are the
Yes.
basic necessities of life. And so let us continue to do what we are doing, not just waiting for Mr. Ashbufar. Let us do what it takes to do this. And then when it comes, we will fly quickly. So thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sister.
sister.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Sister Melanie, your turn.
Thank you. The theme today, or the title is One Voice, One Child, One Heart, One Movement, right? Global movement.
Yes.
Well, we always know that from time to time, we have to be advocates.
Amen.
So advocating for the child, advocating for the youth, and even for adults, because sometimes you have a family, there's children, but then parents are lacking or whatever it is. So we still have to be advocate for the entire family. That
Mm-hmm.
includes the child for sure.
Yeah.
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 And we can never stop volunteering, because the world we live in now, especially so, it takes a lot of effort from everybody on each side, globally, four corners or pillars of the world.
Mm-hmm.
When we come together, put our hands together in love, in unity, when we
Yeah.
collaborate as one, it's a global movement. It's not one person's movement, global.
Yes.
So
Amen.
together we will win, together we'll succeed. We hear Mr. Mafara from time to time say, together we are force, and a force is not to be reckoned with.
Yes.
So when we are collaborating, when we do it with love and with flavor, because the world is full of flavor, different races, different colors, different shades. When we get together, it's so beautiful. So it's a symphony, and
Yes.
Yeah.
symphony makes music, and it's
Yeah.
lovely music. So together,
Beautiful.
when we do things, together when we advocate, when we do our voluntary duties, when we speak with someone, whether it's on the telephone or text or whatever it is, all these things together can make one person, one child at a time, one student at a time happy, a family at a time happy, because there's a child involved. So
Yes. Yes.
going forward, it's a new year, and I still see a lot of us. I say of us, I like to include myself. I know I'm not sleeping, but a lot of people are sitting back. It's time for
Yes.
us to wake up. It
Yes.
is time for us to wake up to do something. Why are we sitting? We are hearing it all the time from Mr. Ash Mafara. We are waiting for apples. We're going to get apples in our hands without doing anything. We take action, and
Yep.
the
Yes.
action becomes small steps. Then we move up the ladder, and then we have our bushels full. We can't wait for anything without doing something.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I don't know if Nomalo is the person that had the voice for returning to school. I think that's the right to say one.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Mela, I give you kudos.
Yeah.
Your bravery
Yeah.
tells us a lot. It takes a voice, just that little spark in your voice, to bring the whole world attention to media or to wherever, and then another person follows you. Because
Yep.
this is how we have to start. Sometimes we're afraid to come out of ourselves because of we don't have a title, but we do have a title, because you know who gives it to you?
Yeah,
Our title comes
understanding.
from above, all of us, each and every one of us. Never think one person is a leader and you're under. No, we are all on top. We are leaders above, not beneath.
Yep.
So keep on doing what you're doing. And honestly, I'm sick and tired of seeing people, even when you're trying your best with them, and then it's the same thing over and over. We are not sleepy. We have life.
Yep.
You know, the animals, they can't talk. They don't have the brain, but they have instinct. They fetch for water. They sow the seeds for us because they fly, they flutter, whatever they do, or they pray like the squirrels. They plant the bulbs for us. If you have to, the bees spread their pollen and all those
Yeah.
things. We have brain. We have authority over them, and yet we are lying, sitting, waiting. What are we waiting on? We have life. You know, what if
Yep.
we wake up and then, God forbid, there's no limb? Then we are asking, we are saying, I wish I had the limb so I could do something, but we have it. We are
Mm-hmm.
whole. What
Mm-hmm.
are we doing? You
Yep.
know,
Mhm.
what are
Certainly.
we doing? I don't know about any other people and I don't care what other people say, but I know I have life and I'm asking God every day to give me that vigor, that strength, because it's coming from Him and
Mm-hmm.
that for me to carry on. I have to do something.
I think that is the determination, the resilience, the fall
Exactly.
that says,
But
I will
you
do
know,
it.
I
Go
have to
ahead.
say, I think one of the things that why some people are so reticent is that they think it has to be a big splash. But we keep saying it has to be just walking on the street and
Small.
seeing somebody and seeing that they're okay, just giving them some kind of acknowledgement that it it's not a big thing. Human beings need that kind of a connection. Some people just want to talk. It happens to me all the time. I'm rushing down and I don't know. I have this serious face, and you look as if you're busy, and still somebody will think it's okay and they want. And then you stop and you talk, and then they feel so. Sometimes they break down crying, and they're not asking you for anything except just a listening ear. Really? How can that harm? Excuse me. How can that harm somebody? And then yeah, they're the bigger things. As I said, I support every time I see anything about water or homelessness or food banks or food soup kitchen. It's just little things going on. Don't wait for the big stage so you can have a name. That's not how it works. A lot of
I,
these people who you see up there on the stages now, and they're doing big things like the acumen that I talk about, or the Kiva, it didn't start big. They became big because the need is great. And so more and more people heard about the work that they're doing. And either they come to volunteer or they come to benefit from the movement. It doesn't matter. We are supposed to one helping the other. And we don't
well,
have to get any name about it. And nobody has to even know about it,
yep.
right? Except
Yep.
you know. You know
Yep.
you're doing it. I went to the
I'm
mail just now. I picked up the mail and I hadn't gone in a few days, and it's about this high. And I said, not $1 is in there. It's all about people. Because I mean, even the charities, they sell your information. So once they know that you will give, and this is what I do. I do it a lot. Then you all of a
I'm
sudden you see these new ones coming, and you figure out how you can do that. Okay. So what I'm saying is that serve where you are and serve how you can. That's all it takes. Nothing else.
and people will
Nothing else.
see it in you. You don't have to say, I
Exactly.
I I went there and I do
No,
this. We don't
no, you
have to
don't.
let people know, because your Father who's above
He
sees you
sees it.
and He will reward you. I'll share
Exactly.
some story with my own self. I'm not a kid, but I feel like I'm a big kid in some ways.
Yeah.
Um, During COVID, you know how times were rough, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
don't like my mom. Even if you're going in the right season, you don't let people know. I am like
Mm-hmm.
that. And maybe
Yeah.
it's wrong. And I used to have the pride, but I learned for a while now to let it go. So one sister dropped me off. We went to church and she dropped me off. I like to tell that story because I didn't ask for it.
Mm-hmm.
And in within that time, it was dry. It was dry. When she
Mm-hmm.
dropped me off, she asked, Sister Mel, are you okay? A lot of people call me Sister Mel. I don't know why, but anyhow, are you okay? So I said, yeah, I'm good. I'm fine. But in my mind, I'm saying, somebody come to my rescue.
I know.
Guess what? The girl had intentions. I don't know how she knew what she knew, but I think that was my blessings. She said, Sister Mel, no, I'm not going to let you get out of the car without doing something. Um, I said, no, 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 you don't have to. And I'm holding her hand. No, no, don't. Thank you. The ride was enough. She got
Mm-hmm.
out of her car. She opened the trunk of her car. In that
Mm-hmm.
car has the bulk item, not just one or two. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Costco bulks, the
Yes,
big thing
yes,
of toilet paper, the big thing of eggs.
yes,
And
yes, yes, I do know.
I stood there with my hands on my head and they said, God bless you. My eyes. I don't know how she knew, but she gave me
He knew.
almost like
He knew. He
a
knew.
package.
Yes.
Then on top of it, it wasn't enough. She told me, when you go home, look through your email. Guess what? $400 Canadian,
Right.
which I
Yes.
didn't ask for.
Happens all the time, sister. It
You know,
does.
and this is true. We, like myself, my time, God knows, I don't have to say what I do, but because of my time that I have been opening up my heart, this is
Absolutely.
what we get back when we least
Absolutely.
expect it. So we
Yes.
have to keep on being cheerful givers. We have to keep on doing stuff that nobody have to notice, but then somebody else comes by like an angel and,
Yes.
do something for you, you
Exactly.
know?
Exactly. Because
Another
it says,
time I'm in the church and I'm in the
yeah.
choir, and then one
Yeah.
lady after the church, she called to me. She said, "How are you?" She handed me an envelope. I thought it was a Christmas card. So I said, "Thank you." And some other people were calling me because we had just finished singing. So I received the envelope and I go to her, "Can you mind my bag for me?" Guess what? I see she looked at me funny. I said, "But she's the same one who gave me the envelope." I think what she was trying to do is to ask me to open the envelope, but she's looking at me to see what I'm going to do. I said, "Are
Yeah.
you okay?" I tapped her shoulder. She said, "Open the envelope." So I opened it. There's $100 in there. I
Yes.
did not
Yes.
ask her.
No, you
So
can't.
people are noticing what you're doing and they in turn comes back,
Absolutely.
so Nomela, keep doing what you're doing. And I'm sure we here and Sister Yvonne's and myself and
Yes.
other people, I'm sure in the chat and wherever are doing their due diligence. Start with
Yes.
a small act. It goes
Yes.
a long way. You
It
never know
does.
what smiles you put in people's face.
Exactly.
And
All
And
everyone,
right.
it does
So
say we can't outgive God. There's
yes.
no
yeah,
way he's gonna let us outgive him. So and he's got it all. It's all his, and he's finding different ways of giving it to us. But we are his hands and his feet and his smile. So we have to do our part as well.
yeah,
Right?
Yes, certainly,
Yeah. And
certainly.
that's what
You see,
Sister Monday is saying.
that's why you see, when we see people in the chat here, they're not just coming. They know why they are coming here. They
Absolutely.
know. Otherwise, why are you coming to one global movement? If you don't know what you're coming, they know. And these are people that are working tirelessly in their families and in their communities. And now we come together so we can even build it bigger. Instead of
Yes.
waiting, there is the popular saying that time waits for no one.
It does not.
Time
Hmm.
waits for no one. Remember those people that carry their talents to the graveyard, when God gave them that talent to come and share it, to come and become stewards to children, and they did not, and they died with those talents.
Yeah.
Lots
Yeah.
of talents. Remember,
Hmm.
even the three talents in the scriptures.
Yes.
A lot of things we don't have to wait. I know that sometimes the world has made some people to become confused. They don't know what to do. They don't even know where
Yes.
to start from because society
Yes.
has built them that way. Or even parents and some adults and caregivers, they make children to get confused, and women. And so they don't even know. They live with fear. They live with anxiety. This is what controls their lives. And
Hmm.
for me, I can say that because I've been there, and even now I am recovering too, because if I sit down and I don't do what I'm doing, it's like I'm going to die the next moment. So we need to push ahead. When you push ahead, it's a vibration. Like Melanie is saying, they gave you something that not one, not two, you didn't even ask for. See, when you send the vibration, the universe takes it and directs it towards the right path. And that's how we get those things. And we know the scripture says you need to empty out yourself. Take something out of yourself and give it
Hmm.
out to somebody, so
Absolutely.
that God will have this, you will create a space that God will continue to fill that thing. If you never give, if you never help, if you never volunteered, you never showed empathy or sympathy to someone, you never stood there for a child that is being bullied in school, you never even share your book, your pencils, or even parents, you never share your food, you say that's their problem. You never even, or you laugh at a neighbor that comes to beg even for common salt. You don't
Yeah.
know their situation. They might be rich, you're seeing them living in a very beautiful house, but you don't know what goes on in that house. So all of this is to say, let us share what we have with people from inside, not from outside. We don't wait for the apples. We look for those apples right now. We look
Amen.
for them in
Yes.
what ways we can look, so that when the bigger apples come, and which they are going to come, and I know that they will come, then
Yes.
we can even go faster, and then we go bigger. That is what we need
Amen.
to be doing. You
Yeah.
know, do you have a
Yeah.
lot of clothes? Do you have lots of shoes? What are you doing with it? When some
Yeah.
people are wearing bare feet? What are you doing
Yeah.
for those clothes? When some people don't have a jacket to wear in winter? That's how we share. And don't be like me. Before, I used to hoard. I was a hoarder. Buy this, buy that. And then I get fed up, and then I keep it. I buy. And then some people take it. I continue to buy, wasting money. But when I had a child of my own, everything turned around. It changed
Yeah.
the perspective
It
for,
can,
for
and
people.
does change us. Yeah,
Yes.
you know, sister, I hate the word waiting, especially how people are using it, especially in on passive. We're not waiting; we're preparing, and we're preparing takes small steps sometimes. Right? You're getting all your ducks in a row. You're getting the knowledge that you need, building up that feeling of what you're going to be doing, because not everybody's going to be doing the same thing, right?
Mhm.
In
Mhm.
unpassive or outside of unpassive. Some of us already have things that we are doing. We will just be amplifying them. They'll just be magnified, you know? But waiting, it's not waiting. I never thought of it as waiting, actually, because I mean, I'm just like you. We're going ahead doing the things that we were doing before, anyways. So when
Mhm.
unpassive says, here is your abundance, we just say, here we can do some more. But it also takes being aware of where you are. Some people have such a head buried in the sand, as they say about that the ostrich. Look around and you will see it, right? Look around and you will see it. And then as you say, it's a bottle of water. Bring somebody some, I mean, simple things. I was coming in the elevator just now to my building, and I saw a young lady, and she had a beautiful little boy with her. So I said, "You're going shopping?" She says, yes, but she guess she didn't want to share that. She said, it's just for toilet paper. I said, but thank God you can do that.
Yes. Yes.
You know what I mean? Don't say just this or just that. When you think of what some people, I mean, I watched some movies recently, and people, the things that they're walking around, broken down buildings that are dangerous could fall. And you know what I mean? So when you live in places where that's not your story, be grateful for that,
There you go.
right?
Yes. Yes.
We get
Yes.
out. We can in Canada here in the US even we can get out and walk down the street and we don't expect any bombs to fall on our head. You know what I mean?
Mm.
We're not running from any people trying to kill us. I mean, on the whole, you know what I mean? Like in those war-torn areas. So let's be grateful for that and do what we can for our fellow people, fellow human
Yes.
being,
And
because
by doing that is showing love in order
it
to
is.
divert all the craziness that is going in the world, which women and children are caught in every situation. The most vulnerable is to love and continue to do good. Eventually, we will affect other people, will contaminate them with goodness, so much so that
Absolutely.
nobody will be talking about war. War for what? Nobody will talk about war anymore. Nobody
Absolutely.
will talk about exploitation, or maybe I don't want to use the word, but that is what happens to our young girls. Think about a girl that is denied an education. I am talking from that standpoint, but I thank God for my grandmother. I thank God for
Yes.
my mother. I thank God for a village that says this child is picking pens and pencils and papers and always wanting to scribble to do something. We have to do something. And this
There you
is what
go.
we're talking about here. When you open your heart to say, I have to do something, guess what? The universe opens up for you to do something. I was sponsoring
Yes.
15
Yes.
children in school,
Yes.
and one of
Yes.
them actually got to first year in university. But with my accident, I could not continue, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But at
Mm-hmm.
least I gave them education. And you're not just sponsoring only kids that you know. Some people, they'll call like from China, they said, we need help with this. Just send it. Send it.
Yes.
Let's do something together, and together here. Imagine when Melanie is doing something, Sister Yvonne is doing something, Naimala is doing something, and I'm doing, and all of us in the chat here are doing something. Do you know how when we come together, we say, oh, okay, when those big apples come, because what we are doing here is our little apples in our own little way, like Mr. Ashmufara says, take what I'm teaching you here into your different endeavors and do
Yes.
it. Make sure that you're holding the hands of other people, which is what we're doing
Absolutely.
here. so that when those things come, oh, the doors were already open for you. You just need
Of
to
course. Of
really, really
course.
act onto it, and even do it even much, and reach children even better. So
Of course.
it's a win-win situation. Let
Yes.
us. Do you eat? We all eat, right? So when you
Yes.
eat, who buys the food for you? You need to work for that food. If you feed your children, who is going to feed your children? You do it. But in the case where you cannot do it, then you talk about it. When you talk about it, you are raising awareness for people to know that this is what is going on. Don't shy away. Don't say, oh, they're
Don't.
going to laugh at me that I'm poor. Oh, I'm
Who
hungry. I can't
cares?
feed my
Right?
children.
Yes.
Nobody care. I don't care anymore. I don't care. If you come to my house, I don't have chairs. Okay, you sit on the floor.
Who cares, right? I'm sure the floor is clean. Sit down.
The best rest is on the floor, the hardwood floor.
Oh
Just
yeah.
open
Yeah,
up,
there
just
you go.
stem.
So
Mm.
when you talk about advocacy, a lot of time is education. You cannot give a bottle of water to a child to drink without teaching that child about the importance of clean water, drinking clean water, the importance of really making sure that you don't waste water. Because as you're wasting water, other people are vying to get water. The
Yes.
importance of taking good showers with clean water, all of those things. Education has to go with it. Where do you go get water? If you cannot feed a child without teaching that child. Some children, if you ask them, where do you think the food that you're eating comes from? From the grocery store?
Go to the
That's
grocery
not.
store.
It's
Yes.
not the grocery store. How to plant a seed. Those that plant, it will be a cost for them to write letters or of appreciation to the farmer, to the gardener. That is,
Yes.
all of these things are things that we underlook. We think that we're going to get something from up there. No, it is right here, right now. You cannot talk building, eradicating poverty. What are you doing? We want to build a solid foundation for generational wealth, that when we exit the stage of this life to join the heavenly choir, we know that our children are going to be happy because we have left a better legacy for them, and then they will
Yes.
carry on. Like this one global movement, you and I are not going to be here anyway.
Yes.
So
Right.
our children have to continue with this. So that is building that legacy, so that you, when you they empower themselves, because they see you empowering yourself. You're not just sitting to being a couch potato or watching TV, flipping the channels. You're doing something. So when you
Yeah.
do that, they too will do it, because they say, oh, mommy and daddy are doing, oh, my auntie is doing it, my uncle is doing, why can't I do it? Or this child is doing it, I can do it too. How can I?
Yes.
We don't laugh at them, we ask, make them to ask questions, then we
Yes.
answer the question, and hopefully we also learn from them, because we do. I learn a lot from
Yeah, you
children.
have to. Absolutely. Because
So,
things change and they have to adapt, and so do we. So, I mean, the advocacy that we're talking about is very comprehensive. It's not just like, sure, it starts basic because, the things like
Mhm.
feeding and eating and hygiene, but it's also financial literacy because eventually they're going to be the ones that are building and maintaining the legacy that we believe in,
yes,
because we want one global movement and on passive accounts to be forever. They're
yeah,
evergreen. They're to be handed down from generation to generation because the world is not going to stop using money. I don't think we're not going back to the bartering system. I don't see. I mean, that was such a good system, but I don't think we're going there. So everything, but first things first, we have to
yeah,
make sure our children are fed and safe and get an
yes,
education, right?
yeah,
Even at the basic. And I mean, when I say education, I mean world education and academic education. I mean everything. Don't just put blinders on because that's one of the reasons why we have the situation we have. We've abdicated our responsibilities and left so many things to a few people, the elites or whatever. And it's not working out very well for us, is it?
you are an elite. Everyone is an elite.
No, I'm talking tongue in cheek. You know that.
No,
I'm
I'm
a
telling
very
the audience,
elite.
I'm telling the world, because a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
people, they make them to feel that because I did not attend formal education, it
Yeah, yeah,
therefore
yeah.
means that I am not an elite. See, some of the best leaders in the world are those that don't know how to read and write,
They
but they
lead with the
are
heart.
so
They lead,
wise.
yeah,
They have
exactly.
the wisdom that they can relegate certain responsibilities in the hands of those who can do it, and then they go ahead and lead well. So when you can go, you can attend formal education, you can attend informal education. O Academy is all about that. That is why we are so big here on O Academy. O Bless
Yes.
O Academy is
Hmm.
what is the light for one global movement here, because we don't want our children to feel like, oh, I cannot be a medical doctor like the other child. Yes, they can be what God has created them to be. They can be like Megan. Megan is a professional stylist.
She is.
Who doesn't love
Absolutely.
that? You know, you are a professional editor, and
And researcher. Yep.
Melanie is a professional. We are all something in our own unique ways and in our own home. So we
Absolutely.
want to
Yes.
really erase this thing that makes children to feel bad that, oh, I don't have this degree, or you want to talk with somebody, so I didn't go to school. No, you went to school because you learned something. You know how to cook, you know how to clean, you know
Mhm.
how to volunteer, you know how to
Yes.
do a lot of things. Let us normalize all of these things, because these are all the things that
I
constitute
agree. I,
society, you know.
I agree with you, sister. But those kind of distinctions die so hard. I don't pay them any mind. I never did. But the thing
Mhm.
is, there are some people who are shrinking back because they're so afraid they're not going to be, considered educated, or whatever. But the thing is, if you're giving something, that's what matters. Something good is coming
Yes.
out of you. Please go ahead and do that. Don't worry about titles. They mean
No
nothing if you're not
titles, no
if you're
titles.
not doing anything with them, or if you aren't a good person in the world. It doesn't mean it. It doesn't mean a thing. Doesn't mean a thing.
My
Can
grandmother taught me that the greatest defeat of all is it's a landslide victory in empowering yourself economically. When you empower yourself economically, nobody can talk to you, and you do that by doing
Exactly.
something. You do that by doing
Exactly.
something. What am I going to do today that is going to bring me something tomorrow, that is going to empower me? Because a lot of people they look down on themselves, they've not found ways to empower themselves, and people put them down. Remember, the person that feeds you controls you. The person that feeds you set
Yes.
the tune of the kind of music that they want you to dance.
Yes.
You need to do your own thing, no matter how small. Like we always say here, start small. One global movement started small, very small. You started the water project small. Melanie started Smiles in the Back, very small. Naimela started whatever she's doing, very small. All of us did. Let us not wait. Mr. Ashmore didn't start one global, on passive 7 years ago. He started way. I'm sure
Yes.
very young. He was thinking about
He
this
was
thing.
thinking about
And
it.
he
Yes.
was planning and doing those things. So let us not just see what he's doing and say, now, where is the money? Now, what money? What did you do to also contribute to that money? What did you do? We are driving on
Exactly.
good roads, like you say, Sister Yvonne, in the United States and Canada, and you don't have to be afraid to walk down the streets because of
No, you
guns.
don't.
Other
Yeah.
people are going through that. But
Yes.
what did you do? The government did that. In as much as we talk about the government being corrupt, but they've done good things. Let us pick on those good aspects and see, what
Exactly.
can I do to go and register at the city hall to go and pick garbage on the
Yep.
road? What can I do now
Absolutely.
to pick at the road? What can I do to go to the public library to read to
Yes.
children?
Yes.
What can I do?
Yes.
What can I do?
Yes.
When you give to those that have given, much more is given back to
You're
them.
given. Absolutely. Yes. You're right.
yeah, so
Very right.
education, as far as education is on paper. Education is also upstairs here. Sometimes like for me, I have a portfolio and I look back at it and I'm saying, man, I've got a lot of certificates that I completed, diplomas, but they are packed in a little portfolio. And one day I went, before I studied at the job that I am now in, I went to a counselor. It's one of those job counselors, whatever, like when you're out of a job. And I brought my portfolio with me because we were trained to do that. So when I went to him, I sat down and he asked, and I'm not bragging or anything, he asked, "Why are you here?" So I said to him, I can't get a job. I am looking for a job. Not that I can get, but I'm looking for a job and I need to be hired. He said, "I'm looking at your portfolio and you're overqualified." So I looked at him, I called his name and I said, "How am I overqualified and I can't get a job? I can't find a job." He said, "Well, you're going in the wrong places." He said, "Look at your skills." He opened it and he's lining out. I said, I know I have them, but I never looked at them that way. He said, "Take the skills you have because you have a lot of multiple skills and apply them." And that's what I did. And I further educated myself by taking 6 months here, 1 year here, 2 years here. And then it doesn't just come overnight. We have to work at it. And it doesn't have to take a piece of paper. A lot of us here and a lot of people in the chat have skills that they don't even know of, they can apply in the everyday life. When they say they don't, or I'm not like this one, they have it, but they don't know it unless they, look at it, Sister Yvonne, and then try to bring it out from within. And that's how we build a community, when we offer what we have. As Sister Yvonne Finn was saying, each of us is different. We have our own, right? So when we again, it's collaboration. When we come together and we this one can build, the other one can write or edit, as you said. The other one can talk, and you don't have to have fluent language to talk.
No.
The other one can sing.
Yes.
All those things together, and the other one can, a lot can plant. It doesn't take much. Or
Yes.
sow seeds.
Yes.
Together, as a community or as a global community, we can reach out.
And we are global
We
right
can.
now. You are speaking from Canada, and I'm speaking from here, and Nemala is speaking from India. We are already
Exactly.
brought
Thank
together
you,
by all
sister.
sides. So you see, before we appreciate our audience, I wanted to talk about social justice and inclusion, because this is what is really breaking down most of our children and young people in the world. Social justice and inclusion. One Global Movement is about all inclusion, choices. Let us all, in a very respectful and humble ways, challenge harmful cultural norms. For a female child not to be given an education, and genital mutilation or sexual abuse, or a lot of, or drugging young people so that you can rape. I'm really sorry to say that, but and then let us also challenge stereotypes and systemic discrimination. And you cannot go fight with somebody, but you have to do the good thing so that they can hopefully see. We do not just go out and say, I'm going to say this. No, we don't want that. Don't waste your time. Just do what you're doing, and then before you know, you will realize that it is having an effect on people. And then we advocate for policies. We can write. We advocate for policies that will protect marginalized women and young minds in the world, including refugees and people with disabilities. People with disability. I know that we all have disability. I do. Everyone does. No, there is nobody. So we should not look at somebody's physical disability because we are seeing it. Forget to know that we also have a disability which is not being seen, but it is internal. So let us do this. This will really erase a lot of people from, say, laughing at people. Somebody doesn't know how to talk well, you start laughing at them. Or somebody is limping, you start laughing. No, let's not do. A lot of our children are going through these kind of things, and they just go down. Some of them commit suicide. I'm sorry to really say this. It happens. It really happens. Imagine a child that is being rejected. Imagine a child that was living in the bush because of rejection. Just imagine a child that does not want, doesn't even have friends. They abandon her or him just because of his or her disability. This is so wrong. And this is what Mr. Ashmafara speaks against. Why is it that he chooses everyone from all corners of the globe? You think he could have chosen some people and not some people? So it teaches us a big lesson that let us fight for social justice and all inclusion. All inclusion.
Yes.
All
We can
right.
do it, sister. We can do it. We can do it.
And we are doing
Thank
it
you,
right now.
sister.
Amen.
We're doing it. Okay, you want to say something? Sister Namela, go ahead if you want to say something.
Yeah, ma'am. Because of your words only, I'm getting little bit braveness. Thank you, sister. I want to your help, ma'am. All are our sisters. With me only, I can get it everything. I'm feeling like that.
I'm going to put you on the screen here and take your picture. Let me put you on the screen. Yes, there you go. So we see our beautiful sister from India.
Thank
There
you,
we
sister.
go. Thank you. Thank you so much. And Sister Yvonne, I know you'll be watching me, and Sister Melanie, so I don't mess around here, right?
Are you
Yeah,
So
thank you.
saying? Are you
yeah,
greeting your guests now? What are you doing now?
yeah, we want to greet our guests, or do you want to say something else?
No, I'm good. Go ahead, please. Because
Okay. And if anybody, if something pops up, hey, we need to, okay, while I'm reading
Yeah.
this. So we have,
absolutely, yes.
Our
Hi.
managing director is here today. Hello, John. How are you? Thank you so much for everything that you're doing for children in the world. We highly appreciate you. And
Yes.
Thank you,
Sir
sister.
D. Pog Dash, how are you, sir? Thank you also for supporting children and women worldwide. We appreciate you as well. Happy Friday, of course. Everybody, happy Friday and enjoy your weekend, okay? And we'll meet here again on Wednesday. But you can always go to YouTube because there are short recordings to keep the momentum and to also keep the consistency with our children on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays at the same time. So it's always a good thing to anchor ourselves and our children there so that they have something to rely on. Because a lot of children in the world now, they so love one global movement so much so that if there's nothing there, they start. And I don't want to be reading a lot of emails. So let us anchor our children and yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Sir Abdul Sattar, Happy New Year. If we haven't seen you, Happy New Year to everyone. Thank you so much, sir, for being here today. We highly appreciate you. Our love to your family and the children around you. And thank you so much, Sister Yvonne, for always taking the time to welcome everyone here. I appreciate you. And we have the link here. The least we could do, we are in the age of artificial intelligence. That's what Mr. Ashmufara is bringing to us. And so, please, the least you can do is to subscribe. Subscribe so you can get the messages here. You're not just doing it for yourself. Subscribe. Help somebody to subscribe if you can. And so that you will get notification on when we go live or when we have new content. And you're also helping children and families to anchor themselves here. And when you do, please do make some comments, ask questions. Don't just accept everything here. You ask questions according to the way that your culture does it, so that when we bring this culture together, like our beautiful sisters here said, culture then the different culture then become beauty in diversity. Very, very
Right.
important. So let us
Yeah.
do that, please. So this link, go like. This one is our Facebook page. Go and like and also follow, please, so that we can get more resources for one global movement. Thank you. And here we go. Here we go. Hashtag unpassive. Hashtag
That's John.
yes. And hello, Sir Ashok Kumar. If we have not said Happy New Year to you, Happy New Year, sir. And thank you for being one of the pillars here in One Global Movement. And of course, on passive and appreciation for our wonderful CEO, Mr. Ash Mufara. Thank you so much. And we have Tom Roy. How are you, Tom? Thank you so much, sir, for supporting us here. Happy New Year to you and your family. And of course, our beautiful sister Sanjo Ashmira from India. Thank you so much, sister, for the beautiful smiles that you show children in your home and in your community. Thank you so much. And let's go down here. We have, of course, our beautiful sister Nancy. How are you, Nancy? Thank you so much for joining us. I know you might be at work, but thank you so much for joining us. And thank you for helping children in your home and in your surroundings. And let's hear Maria. Maria Just. Happy New Year, Maria. If we haven't met, Happy New Year to you and your family. We highly appreciate you for supporting children worldwide. And then we have Surrender Sing Pong. How are you? Happy New Year as well. And thank you so much for inspiring us here to do what we are doing for children. We are waiting for each and every one of you to be here, speak in your dialect, speak in your culture, do whatever you need to do. Look at what our beautiful sister Nimala just did today, if I'm pronouncing the name right. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We
Thank you,
need
sister.
we need that kind of a leap of faith. We all do. I don't know anything. We all here don't know. We know some, but we don't know everything. So let us do this together so that our children can really be inspired to do the same. Thank you. We have Rajiv Roy. Happy New Year again, Rajiv. How are you? Thank you so much for being here with us today. And of course, Sister Melanie, thank you so much. You don't know what you have done by hopping on here for this kind of New Year resolution. It started last year anyway. And thank God that you're here and you're contributing powerfully to these children's life is what God will bless your soul. Thank you so much. And we have Sir AP Mahusadan, and thank you, sir. Thank you for being here. Your contribution is a lesson to all of us here, and thank you for your experience and what you're doing with children and young people in your community in India. We highly appreciate you. Together, we will make a difference in this self-oriented business world thinking. Yes, so true. We have Zeni Sibanda. How are you, sister? If you're new here, you're welcome here. Thank you so much for joining us here. And thanks to the person that inspired you to be here, or maybe you inspired yourself from the internet. We highly appreciate you for joining us here from that part of the world. And feel free, if you want to say something, come on here. If you have children that want to be here, they can come. This platform is for everyone, particularly for children and young people. They can open up here, and we can discuss things together to find the best way possible. And greetings, Zen Zini. You're welcome here. Thank you so much, Sister Yvonne, for taking the time to do that. Hashtag One Global Movement. And let's go here. And Sir AP says, Dr. Mundih, I am going to start your slogan in India. 5 chicken scheme in little different ways for needy families. When unpassive funds available, my first project will be start with your idea. Very, very good. I like that. And when you do start it, let me know, because one global movement is to contribute to those kind of programs. We have to. We have to build generational wealth starting right now. Imagine I started this five chicks per child program. My grandmother and my mom, they taught me very young. You know, a 6-year-old well trained, and when you're doing it, they too can do it. They were raising chickens, and they gave us chickens. You raise your own, you raise your own. We were so happy playing with the chickens. So after 3 to 4 months, you sell them. Now they open you a bank account, or if not a bank account, you have a piggy bank. They put the money and you are happy. Wooden piggy bank, not a plastic piggy bank. They crafted a piggy bank for us, you know. So you help a child to be empowered to know that they can do their own thing, and they start building so that when they grow up, they will not go to these student loans that are hanging right on some of our necks here. So they have that money ready, either to go to school, to learn a trade, to do a business, or to also contribute to other courses that they love to contribute to. That is so important. Thank you for saying that. We have Jivan Turkey. Thank you so much, sir. Good evening to everyone on Passive Family. Thank you, sir. Happy New Year. If we haven't said Happy New Year to you, thank you so much for being here today. We have Rita Naloteka. How are you, Rita? Welcome to this global family. We appreciate you, and thank you for taking the time to be here today. You are a part of this family. We appreciate you. And Sir AP says, in this week, I advise 3 families to start to strengthen their family finance and health with some chicken, goats, and little organic farming. Is this is the root, because if we don't do, some people see it like in Cameroon. I can only talk about Cameroon. Some people think when you're planting things or you are raising this thing, they look at you as poor. Actually, these are the richest of the world. Okay, the farmers are the richest people in the world, and because they are not just rich in finances, they are rich in their endeavors to empower people to eradicate hunger. That is so important. So thank you so much, Sir AP, for sharing that. And really, better system was a good method of human thinking for society. Really, thank you so much. And Rita says, Dr. Mundi, it's good that you talk about our children, and we have to start now to voice out these concerns. Right now, the youth are struggling with mental health, and a lot of families don't understand these illness or how to deal with it. Let's talk more about this topic, especially parents who are working 2 jobs and don't have time to depend on the children. This is so true. I can also testify to that, because I remember when I was struggling to raise my child, taking him to school, picking him up, and also taking him to school activities. When we leave these children alone, the developmental illness. You see, even when your child is attending school out of state, it doesn't matter whether they are 18 and older. Make time for them at least once a week. Get a meeting, talk. Just by talking, you are helping these children to stay mentally healthy. And so we're going to talk about it again. We have talked about this, Sister Yvonne and Melanie, several times. You guys will testify. We're going to bring this again and again, because this is a continuous thing, and they are being stigmatized. We all are stigmatized. When you say you have mental illness, they stigmatize you, and we don't want that. Thank you so much, Rita. We will talk about that. And Sepi says, yes, Yvonne Finn, now it should not be between person to person, barter system to be done between communities or states, countries, governing body. And yes, sometimes, we have this technology is so good, and this is the best way. The barter system doesn't have to be the only way now at all. It doesn't have to be. And sometimes the barter system in little communities, because even here in big communities, the farmer will say, okay, can we trade this seed for this instead of paying cash? But that one is not like a barter system 100%. It's you're trading seeds with other people to also try their own seed or to take what you don't have. And you guys do it, that is sharing. That is what is called sharecropping. It's not a trade by barter, but it's still almost like that. Because when you're living in a community where, okay, I have a lot, like I had a lot of watermelons here. Okay, now what else can I get from you who is gardening something, but you don't have the means to take it to the homeless shelter or to refugee camps? Then I would give you some of those watermelons, and I take those things to go and share. But technology is here. We don't have to go through that route anymore. We can do bigger things now with this new technology. And thank you so much. And this is so beautiful. And I would just let our beautiful sister uh, uh, Nimala to give closing remarks. And of course, Sister Yvonne, you will then follow and we'll call it for the day. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
sister.
Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. Sister Yvonne, you can give a closing remarks.
Thank you, sister.
Yeah. I think you are muted, sister.
Sorry, sister.
No,
I'm going to say, as always, that, it's not a big splash.
Mhm.
That doesn't work because many initiatives have done that, and we're seeing that there are not many inroads being made because they're going about it the wrong way. So we need balance and collaboration, and we need to know that every little good thing that we do, if it's the right thing, if it's something that the person needs, then we're doing it right. Right?
Yep.
Don't assume that you know what somebody needs until you actually sit, look at them, speak with them. Too many people have been trying to solve the world's issues by just going in and saying, this is what we're going to do. But as you talk about, even with the raising of crops, you can't raise crops where they don't belong. You just cause more problems. You know what I mean? If
Yes.
somebody needs a fan, don't give them an electric light. This is not what they need. And I truly believe that that is how we're going to solve this, is what Mr. Mufara says. We are supposed to come with our own causes and things that we want to do. And
Mhm.
then the money, call
Mhm.
it what it is, the money, the funds will facilitate that. And we magnify it. And we will always find others to join with us, just like he found these 1.8, 1.4 million people in Unpassy and more
Mhm.
to come. So I
Mhm.
think that we should go grassroots. And
Yes.
as Mr. AP is saying there, he's agreeing the barter system was a good system. And as you said, it doesn't have to be, it can be communities now. It can be
Yes.
worldwide. We share because everywhere is different. We have winter here now, right?
Yes.
Some
Yes.
places are having 100 degrees in the shade.
Mhm.
So we have different things to contribute. So let us remember that. And every little bit helps.
Yes, it does.
That's,
Grassroots is the thing. I'm glad you
yes,
said that. Grassroots. You can go out there without going here, right now. And that means
absolutely.
within you. And this is
Yeah.
what Mr. Ashman said. Why do you think he went? We are all the grassroots that he went to. He did it to the grassroots. And so we need
Yes.
to do that. So this is if we are going to look up there, let's go to the Tesla, let's go to Elon Musk,
No, no,
let's go to the
no.
Hollywood. It does not work. Grassroots is so important. When you go to the grassroots, you just know that you bless yourself with everything else in the world. So thank you so much for
Absolutely.
mentioning that. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful weekend. And
Yes.
Be sure to go to YouTube on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. We'll meet here again on Wednesday and Friday. Sister Nyamala, thank you so much. Say hello
Thank you
to your
for coming.
family, to
Yes.
your beautiful, beautiful daughter. We love you and we will welcome
Thank you.
you here again. Thank you so much, Melanie. We will be talking, okay? We love you all. Until next week. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye bye. Have a
Bye.
good weekend.